everything. Cabela's Intensity HD binoculars. Great price, lifetime guarantee. Only at Cabela's. Reinforced seams. Indestructible zipper. For $40, it takes all your crap and won't keep you strapped. Cabela's Ripcord Duffel. Great price, lifetime guarantee. Only at Cabela's.
Grill burgers go great with Bush's baked beans. But if I'm feeling bolder, I go for Bush's Grill and Beans with steaks or chops.
Dude, I like this new Wild Side.
Bush's Beans. We've got a Bush's Beans. We've got a bean for you.
The moment you realize you're lucky your backyard is in the back.
At Lowe's, we'll help you find all projects have a starting point. Start with Lowe's.
Get this Charbroil Performance Grill for only $169 at the Lowe's Labor Day Savings Event.
I love you, a bushel and a peck. You bet your pretty neck I do.
While other insurance companies just see a house, we see the home you've worked really hard for.
Frisky's World.
Hey, what's that?
Whoa, gravy.
You mean extra gravy.
Oh, what?
That's new Friskies Extra Gravy. Chunky.
Chunky gravy paradise.
Paradise, really.
Feed their fantasies.
Come on, Josh.
When someone truly believes in you, you can achieve great things, like hitting the game-winning home run. At Loan Depot, we believe in helping you achieve the American dream of owning a home. Loan Depot is the only lender that provides critical illness coverage which you can use to pay your mortgage payments, up to $30,000 in case you're unable to work.
That's impressive.
And if interest rates ever drop, you can refinance without any lender closing costs. Loan Depot, we believe in you.
It all started with a cardboard box. It's what my colleague put his computer on when sitting all day at the office became too painful. So we designed the first Veridesk. Lift it to stand when you want to, lower it to sit when you need to.
I have more energy and I get more done.
Our boss got the company to buy them for us, and I love it.
If you sit every day for work, the Veridesk is a must.
It's sturdy and comes fully assembled. And if you don't love it within 30 days, we'll pick it up. Go to Veridesk.com to order yours.
The weather turns serious. The first thing I'm thinking is, how do I communicate the message very clearly to people so they understand what the risk is and how to get through this?
Hey, welcome back to our continuing coverage of Hurricane Harvey, Category 3 hurricane that is going to make landfall in the next few hours. And we had a little bit of a lull here in Corpus Christi, but we've already gusted in the bay at 79 miles an hour. Coquitlam Bay has gusted to 79 miles per hour with this storm, okay? So here's the deal. I want to tell you something. I want to talk about something that's happening right now. We got to watch this, all right? This is a Texas DOT traffic map. And this orange area that you're looking at is about 15 miles of cars that are moving very slowly on Interstate 37. Presumably, I'm thinking to try and get out of harm's way. Now, why we know this is vehicles is because Google monitors cell service and GPS pings. So they know they're out there. Now, if you look at the radar, there's an eye wall coming with a Category 3 hurricane. It's about 40 miles away. The storm is moving at 10 miles per hour. Given that speed, if those cars are still there, they're going to deal with the eye wall in about 4 hours. So that is the situation that we will continue to watch. And Brian Norcross, you know as well as I do, one of our biggest fears in what we do here is having people out and about when a storm has developed or is developing and coming on shore.
Yes,
Over to you.
Jim Cantori, absolutely. A car is the worst place to be in a windstorm. If you know, there are always exceptions and so forth, but I have seen cars flip in F0, EF0 tornadoes. I've seen car lots have cars flipped in EF0 tornadoes. So it is extraordinarily dangerous to be on the road trying to drive when you have, especially if you have crosswinds with a car. Now, Jim, I've been looking at the radar really closely, and I want you to look at this close up. And there's a couple of things. First of all, notice the eye wall, the yellow, is wrapping around. I'm going to stop this on the end of the most recent radar shot. There it is there. And now we're seeing more of an arc of yellow wrapping around. Now, I also want you to look at the size of the eye. So about that big. Now let me go back and run this loop again. And you notice that it was kind of bigger, I think, earlier, and now it seems to be consolidating. So that combination of a consolidating eye, tightening up a little bit, and more of the enhanced radar returns around the eye can be an indication that the storm is strengthening. It's still, the core is over the water, extraordinarily warm water there, so there is still that opportunity. So we're just fearful for anybody that is anywhere in harm's way here, especially to the east of Corpus Christi. It's just going to be hellacious here very, very soon. The eye wall is maybe 10 or 15 miles offshore. Now, where Jim is there in Corpus Christi right here, you can kind of gauge how the wind speeds are going to increase by looking at the bands. And look at the band that he's in. We'll get to the most recent one there. And again, let me go on to the end of this loop here and show you the most recent view. There it is right there. And so kind of measure the bands here. There's the eye wall. Then we have a band that's between the eye wall and where Jim is. And then out here, there's one out here. This is all that wind you see with Jim Cantore. Look, it's in this kind of broken yellow here. Kind of a no big deal looking band on the radar, but we see that the winds there are fierce. Well, there's two more bands between to go before Jim gets to the eye wall or anybody gets to the eye wall that's on land. So, boy, this has still got a long way to go downhill. We can also see, talk about this idea of perhaps the hurricane strengthening. Look on this incredible GOES view, and we see at the very end, look at these thunderstorms here, kind of blowing up at the very end. And the stronger the storm gets, you get more of these cells, strong cells, in that eye wall and around the center. Is that the most unbelievable thing you ever saw? You can also see in the eye right there, some of the strongest winds in eyes occur in these vortices that rotate around the inside of the eye wall there, an extremely well-developed hurricane. So we'll just keep an eye on what's going on right in there, and it looks like the strongest ones are now offshore, and they're going to rotate around like that. So as this comes ashore, and it's only now about 2.5 hours away by my calculation, so still looking at somewhere around 9 or 9:30 Eastern time, 8:30 Central time for it to come ashore, for the landfall to occur. But before that, that eye wall is going to move in. And with the storm center coming in like this is where we're talking about this massive storm surge being pushed up in every body of water and all of the coastal areas to the right of that center. But it's not just totally to the right, because when the circulation is just offshore, circulations like this, it's going to drive Matagorda Bay down to the south. So you're going to get flooding all along the barrier islands there. Good thing is in Nueces Bay up in here, the wind flow is going to be out. So we think that will minimize, not eliminate, but minimize the storm surge up there around Corpus Christi that we were so concerned about earlier today. All right, Jim Cantore, back to you.
All right, Brian, some interesting stuff, certainly, as this thing comes ashore. And by the way, you can see this all on GOES 16, too, with the new satellite. You can see these little circoidal eddies within the eye itself. All right, guys, welcome back to continuing coverage of Harvey. And this is going to be a long continuing coverage, as we've been showing you the slow, agonizing part of this, dealing with the hurricane first, a Cat 3 landfall, and then a storm that is going to dump historical, unthinkable amounts of rain on the state of Texas.
There's a Category 4 hurricane.
All right. Absolutely. This thing is going to go on through the weekend and into early next week. There is no doubt about that. You've got live crews spread out all over the field.
It's a Category 4.
Keeping an eye in the state of Texas.
It's actually a Category 4.
We are covering this storm again wall to wall for you. And obviously,
does anybody notice that?
As you heard from Brian, it's going to be
it just turned to
Christie. Whether we get in the eye or not, we're actually in a little bit of a lull. Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! We just got word. It's a Category 4 hurricane.
It's a Category 4 hurricane.
Right, let's go back to you. Give me the ideas. Give me what you know in terms of the wind. So what are we, 130?
Well, we're
Oh my God.
I've been keeping an eye on the recon, and I have not seen stronger winds than the 125. Well, now we are up to 130. Well, so obviously they found an observation in there while I was talking to you just a moment ago. So yes, we are 130, Category 4 hurricane. Again, that's what we were just analyzing on the radar. No doubt it was in that cell that the hurricane hunters must have found that. I have to see what the Hurricane Center says on where they got that off. But slowing down slightly northwest at 8 now. So if it's about, the center's about 30 miles from the coast. At 8, that puts it about 3.5 hours. So you can figure that out. 10:30 Eastern time, 9:30 Central time, or maybe 10 o'clock. What is it? It's 7 o'clock now, right? Coming up on 7. It's about 7 o'clock. Yeah, it is. 7 o'clock. I know. I lose track of time
before you.
Yeah. So anyway, we're talking about looks like a little bit slower as anticipated. So that's where we are right now, Jim. 130 miles per hour.
I just noticed that. Oh my! I was the first one to notice that. I'm pretty sure I was the first one.
The impact that doesn't change a lot with the storm surge and what we expect certainly on the coast. But what it does change certainly is a chance of getting stronger wind damage. All right, that's a higher wind. Especially as you go up to some of these buildings here. Well, it's yet to be determined if Corpus Christi is going to take this thing. We're just going to have to wait to see on that. But I can tell you one thing: people need to get off the roads, especially if they're
in the next advisory is 7 p.m. So we're going to keep you covered right now on the evening show.
Oh yes, okay. So last year,
actually,
was a Category 5. So I was just trying to think back to when we had something like this. But if we were talking about Celia that came into Corpus back in 1970. It too was a storm that was intensifying upon landfall. So much like Celia, with respect to its intensity, it is intensifying upon landfall. We did have measured gusts at Aransas at 130 miles per hour. So a lot of similarities here. What may be different is this may come in just a little bit farther north than what Celia did. But either way, think about the growth that's gone on here, not only in Corpus Christi, but all the way up through the coastal bend, into Aransas, into Rockport.
Okay,
and if
there
you're
we go.
watching us from a safe haven right now,
Right, so then the distance.
That decision to evacuate with your family. Think about that.
Corpus Christi's right here.
It was just a minimal hurricane.
21 mile per hour winds, guys.
All right, so that's why we tell you to heed these evacuation orders. This is a great example of that. A fantastic example of that. Again, rain continues to be on the heavy side, Alex. I think we're getting into another part of this, I guess, this area just west of the eye wall now, with another strong area, 50 to 70 mile per hour winds. Our max gust, before I throw it back to you, Coquitlam Point at 79 miles an hour. Back to you, Alex.
All right, thanks so much, Jim. We'll check back with you in just a bit. We do want to turn now to Senator Ted Cruz. He joins us from Houston, Texas. Devastating impacts, no doubt, expected there in your state, Senator. So what are you guys doing to ensure that the state receives the aid that it needs?
Well, Alex, it's good to be with you. I'm here at the Harris County Emergency Operations Center and spent the entire day coordinating with federal officials, state officials, and county and local officials throughout the state. And at this point, we're preparing for landfall. This is expected to be a very serious hurricane with a serious risk of loss of life. And so what I would encourage the Texans watching this, if you're in an area, if you're in a county where an evacuation order has been issued, treat that evacuation order seriously. This storm is dangerous. If you're in an area, Corpus Christi into the South Texas, the wind, the rain is expected to be really terrible. And if you can evacuate, I would encourage you to do so. If you're in an area like the Houston area where I am, we're not under an evacuation order right now, but there are projections of very significant rainfall, significant flooding. What I would encourage you to do is find a safe place and stay there. Don't be out on the roads. Don't drive. And in particular, I want to remind people, do not drive into water. Every time we see a hurricane, every time we see significant flooding, the most frequent cause of loss of life are people in their automobiles who think they can make it through the water, and the swift-moving water carries them and then their family away. Don't risk it. Don't drive into water.
Absolutely, no doubt. Great advice there. Now the Weather Service is reporting that some places may be uninhabitable for weeks or months, really a similar statement that they made for Katrina. So what is the plan to be able to give people the funding and housing that they need to recover? Because this could be a very long-lasting thing.
Well, at the county levels, they're preparing right now. Those counties that are under evacuation orders are working to help evacuate people. The first responders are getting ready. They're going to be right at the first level, whether it's the police officers or the sheriffs or the firefighters, the paramedics or the National Guardsmen. All of them will be on the ground helping people in need. And then at the state level, I spoke earlier today with Governor Greg Abbott. The state is preparing and is already marshaling its resources to help those in need, whether it's with search and rescue or disaster recovery. I spoke a few hours ago with President Trump. The president gave me his personal assurance that the federal government, that FEMA and the entire machinery of the federal government would act swiftly, marshaling resources and assets down here to Texas. And so my office is working very, very closely with the federal government, the White House, the state officials, the county officials, and local officials. And what we're seeing right now is a coordinated effort to prepare. And then when we see landfall and we see the consequences, we're all going to be working together to help those in need and then to repair whatever damage we see that comes from this storm.
Certainly great to hear that all levels of the government there, from the local city, county areas, all the way up to the federal government, trying to work together. Now, there is a lot of concern about oil prices nationwide potentially taking a hit based on damage from Hurricane Harvey. How's the state protecting the oil industry there in Texas?
Well, I'll tell you, the refinery assets and the oil assets on the coast are hardened. I mean, we are in a hurricane area where this occurs, and so we're hopeful that those major economic assets will not be significantly threatened, but we're going to have to deal with what comes and see what the responses are. I will say, every time we face a natural disaster like a hurricane, I am incredibly encouraged to see Texans coming together. It's a phenomenal thing. I've unfortunately been on the ground in more than a few natural disasters that we faced in Texas in recent years. And every time Texans come together, we help our neighbors, we volunteer. People from surrounding counties just jump in their trucks and come over and pitch in. And I tell you, I spoke today to the head of the American Red Cross. The American Red Cross, every disaster we have, they have men and women on the ground that are providing water, that are providing medicine, that are providing shelter. And for people across the country, if you're not in this storm's wake and you want to help out, what I would ask for is number one, your prayers. We need your prayers. But number two, go to the Red Cross website, sign up to volunteer, sign up to help out, because we all need to come together in the wake of a disaster like what Harvey appears likely to be.
And Senator, one last thing, if you want to sort of tell the citizens of the state of Texas there, any great advice that you have for them at this moment as they deal with this storm bearing down.
Well, I think the most pressing thing for Texans is follow the news closely and listen to your local elected officials. This storm can change. It just got upgraded to a Category 4 that is even more dangerous. There are projections of record-breaking rain and flooding. And if the storm changes course, the geographic areas that are threatened by it could become very, very different. And so I would encourage you, follow this closely and listen to the directives from your local elected officials who are monitoring this very closely. And don't gamble. Don't gamble with your family's safety, with your family's lives. If an evacuation order is issued, treat it seriously and get your family to safety. And other than that, stay off the roads and don't roll the dice. Avoid running rapidly moving water. It's very dangerous and it's not worth the risk.
All right, Senator Ted Cruz there in the state of Texas there, giving us great advice, and of course trying to make sure everyone stays safe. That is the key. We appreciate you chatting with us here this evening as we work our way back towards Corpus Christi, where our very own Jim Cantori is. And Jim, a lot of folks trying to make sure everyone's staying safe. How are you handling things right now?
Well, we're just taking it on the chin out here, but I'll tell you, what you see right now, me getting with these occasional hurricane force gusts, winds are mostly about 50, 60 where I am right now. And you see them kind of gust along and push me a little bit. That's classic of what we see. It is absolutely nothing compared to what's in this eye wall. You have to go all the way back to 1961, by the way, the last Cat 4 landfall. That was Carla that came into our north. caused a lot of problems up to the north. That's the last Cat 4 landfall that we had in the state of Texas. I mean, we're talking a lot about Celia. The storm is already stronger than Celia that came into Corpus Christi back in 1970. So Texas has quite a history of hurricanes. Harvey will no doubt be added to that history. It will be one of the stronger ones and one of the more impactful ones. We'll have to wait and see in terms of what it's going to do in terms of the surge and whatnot. But I think there's going to be certainly major infrastructure, as the senator was talking about. And then the rain. I mean, this is unthinkable rain. You know, I'm watching this today, and I'm looking at this. All right, if it comes north, a band sits over Houston. They get crushed. They flood. Storm moves south, comes back north again. A band sits over Houston. They flood again. It's in the realm of possibility that Houston could flood more than once, maybe even more than twice. It's not impossible. The forecast for Houston is over 20 inches of rain, which is just incredible. So hope something happens that we're not seeing. Hope this thing maybe keeps burying itself inland and weakens. If you take off the water, if you take off the energy, which is the Gulf of Mexico in this case, which is allowing it to strengthen, we may have some hope here in turning this down a little bit. But that's not necessarily the end result, because remember, Allison weakened to a remnant low and still produced incredible amounts of rain. It's the stalling factor that's the problem. It's the slow movement that adds to the heavy rain following through here. But if we can bury it, farther to the southwest and just keep it moving in some way, which is not modeled, by the way, we got a chance here. But that really is our only chance. And frankly, it is a very low probability chance. All signs point to a historic rainfall event coming up with this. Again, as we know, there are at least 700 National Guard troops on hand. There goes one of their vehicles right now. We know that the governor has issued an emergency declaration to the president. He's hoping to get some help, obviously. And now that this thing's a Category 4, hopefully that gets a lot more attention. Granted, it's only numbers, and we expect the impacts to go up. But the wind damage is what we're going to see with it going up in category. The surge is still going to be relatively the same, and we certainly expect a heavy rainfall with this. But there's still a lot of questions to be answered as to where exactly it goes. How much does it weaken when it gets a little bit inland? Is it going to go down to a 2, a 1? And of course, you still have wind damage with a 1 even inland as we go here. So, guys, again, it's getting very, very dark right now, and the winds are starting to pick up again. Brian, I want to throw it back to you because you've got your eyes on the radar. What are you seeing in terms of trends?
Well, we have this 3D view of the radar, Jim, that really shows the eye wall and its proximity to the coast. Take a look at this. Here, the graphics have enhanced the strongest cells in the eye wall, and look at them right there. And there's the coastline. So this is just offshore now of the coast. Here's Corpus Christi over here. So we can clearly see that this eye wall, that is it right there, is going to come ashore north of Corpus Christi. And Jim, that I'm taking as the best piece of news of the day, because that is a significantly unpopulated area. Not that nobody has houses up there, not that there aren't people that do live in that area and have investments in that area, but there's a wildlife refuge. It's not the population center that Corpus Christi is. So that may be the best news. Now, as you said, this hurricane, this Category 4 hurricane, now with 130 miles an hour, is forecast to be something like Allison, in that Allison went ashore, although up by Houston, and then turned around, came back. And so that's time to go ashore and come back and essentially maintain its circulation over the land, although it was up here by Houston. That's what was the reason that Allison is the only tropical storm. It wasn't a hurricane, it was just a tropical storm. Only tropical storm to have its name retired because of the incredible rain. So this is like Allison, but with hurricane winds on top of it. So what that means is that once it gets inland, as Jim was saying, all indications are that it will begin to weaken once it gets off the Gulf, but with the heavy rain and the persistent winds probably gusting to hurricane force for at least a day or more, you're going to have tremendous power outage, flooding problems, all in this zone for the rest of Texas, all the way to the east, past Houston, probably up into Louisiana. All right, Jim, back to you in Corpus Christi.
All right, Brian, remember, guys, right now with the storm coming ashore, if you're north of the center, all that water is being pushed up. Big waves off east of the Barrier Island, well over 25 feet right now, banging against that barrier island. This storm could cut a new path along the Texas coast.
For a limited time, you can get this fresh, juicy Boston Market rotisserie chicken for $1.99 when you buy any family meal. Now, your next few dinners are taken care of. Boston Market.
Boston Market. Get a whole rotisserie chicken for $1.99 when you buy any family meal.
No. Not my area. Actually, it might be affected. I don't know. It's probably not affected though.
So running the whole dogs? Surprising. What's not surprising? How much money
you technically get the outer bands. The outer eyes. See how it's all wrapping around?
Frisky's world. Hey, what's in there? Oh, is that a crunchy kibble? Is that a ring of gravy?
So we're technically getting. Let's actually see what these. Oh, guys, that's actually a lot.
Lily, she pretty much lives in her favorite princess dress. But once a week, I let her play sheriff so I can wash it. I use Tide to get out those week old stains.
Let's see our place where we are right now.
You are free to go.
Tide and Downy together.
This Labor Day at Enterprise Car Sales. Experience.
So guys, we're actually getting affected by this, and there's some really strong storms. Like right over there, there's a really strong storm. Over there, there's a really strong storm, and over there, there's a really strong storm. Along with lots of storms in Arizona, and New Mexico especially. We're gonna actually check on New Mexico. Not everyone's actually, like, lots of people are getting affected by this, and we're gonna see how this affects us, and it might actually affect it significantly, the weather and everything. Flagstaff is actually getting a decent amount. We're gonna check the places closer to us. Right now.
It's a place you can turn to and trust.
Our team's taking you into the storm with live reports.
Here we go. Here's New Mexico. And so New Mexico is definitely getting affected by the storm.
When it comes to a weather situation that warrants attention, we're the place to go. It's that simple. Where you live.
Yeah, as you can see, it's actually kind of wrapping around. See how all of this is wrapping around? This is all wrapping around the storm.
There was just one thing missing.
And actually a lot of it's in New Mexico, but not as much, and there's no wind, including with us, which right now we're actually probably going to do live coverage out here. Yeah, we're probably going to see what's happening. Right now it's completely sunny with no clouds, but I haven't checked the back, which is probably looking over here. So if it's looking, actually it's probably looking over here, so if it's looking over here, there must be some clouds.
There's never been a better time to get America's #1 choice for satellite internet. The new HughesNet Gen 5
we're going to keep you covered, and actually Hobbs, let's actually just check some places that are getting affected in California, where we are.
I think what makes the Weather Channel's coverage unique is
most
that
of you were
we are
watching.
meteorologists. We know the weather, and that makes a tremendous difference.
Oh, here we go. This is important. Yep, you could obviously see all of it, but we're going to exit out of the Weather Channel, and we're going to go outside for a couple of minutes. We're going to get some reporters, so we're going to show you what's happening exactly. Maybe. What are you doing? Outside. Okay, so we're going to show you what's happening right now. Yeah, there is some clouds over, I'm going to get this set up. So, right now, as you can see, over there, actually, I'll show you. You guys can't really see, but because of all the haze, but, over across there, there's some of the rain band clouds, and those will probably be moving in tonight if it goes closer to us. If it goes more inland into New Mexico, then it will probably be more significant, and we will actually get some rain. But yeah, this is what it's like right now. Now, you think it's not too bad, but it might actually become worse. Well, with first of all the rain, maybe some rain, like up to maybe 1/4 of an inch, which is not that much, but we really need those for all the plants and stuff. Some other stuff, if the clouds do move in, this would mean it would get much colder. And so that will completely change our forecast, which is why they changed the forecast from 105 here all the way down to about like 95. So it's changed about 10 degrees just because of Hurricane Harvey. We only thought it was going to become a Category 1 hurricane, but they saw that it was not actually going to become a Category 1 hurricane. It's going to become Category 4, which what happened? Okay, so something happened. Sorry about that. So as you can see over here, there is some clouds over there. Actually, you can't really see once again. You can't really see, but if you see where the haze is. Now, another thing is if there might be more dry lightning all across here. If these clouds do come, dry lightning is very dangerous. And yeah, if there is dry lightning, that won't be good. So we're gonna check on what's been happening, and I'm pretty interested because all the forecast has changed. Big Bear is going to expect some thunderstorms, which is actually right there where the clouds are, and that's where I'm showing you over there. And maybe it's actually a lot of clouds, just super far away. But they are pyrocumulus clouds, which means they're the obvious. You know what I mean? And yeah, we're gonna keep you covered live on the evening show. And this is actually the evening because it's like 4:24, so it's close enough to the evening. And yeah, we actually might actually. Yeah, 1 second. Just 1 second. Doesn't this work? Oh, there we go. So if hello. Wait. Hello. Hello. Wait. Hello. Hello. I don't know if it's. No, it's the same exact thing. Okay, so up on CNN, it just reported that it's Category 4 hurricane right now, and there's one viewer right now. Say hello on the comments. Here, we'll actually go to the live broadcast. thank you for joining us on this. And type in the comments how you feel, and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. So one watching right now, just say hello or something like that, and then yeah, we could get you on here. So yeah, just type something, and then you'll be good. So we're waiting for that one viewer to type and say how he feels about Hurricane Harvey. Oh, there's 2 viewers now. Lots of people are joining in. Hello, the chat. Oh, now 1 viewer. Okay, so what's happening right now is that category. It's a Category 4 hurricane, and yeah, just say hello or something, and tell us like what's happening with Hurricane Harvey and how you feel about this. So yeah, we're actually live right now in California, which is very sunny and stuff, but we actually do have some of the rain bands of Hurricane Harvey, and we want to see how you feel about Hurricane Harvey, and if you actually live in the hurricane, and I want to hear your thoughts about it. Anything. Here, maybe we have to reload it. Let's see where it's on.
Live in hurricane in the.
Oh, I got 1 like. Okay, so something. Yeah. Okay, now there's 2 viewers. Say, hello. As you could see, all of the clouds. There's actually some clouds over there, but you can't actually see it. Yeah, just leave a like on the video, and yeah, we'll actually show you what Hurricane Harvey's looking like right now. We could actually show you just 1 second, and just tell us kind of what's been happening. Yeah. You. TES, the evening show. So, yeah, we're gonna see what he thinks about Hurricane Harvey. Or okay, so we're gonna get back to him in a second. But for right now, need to use this anymore. Right now, we'll go on to the radar. It should be thing soon. Oh, 0. So we're gonna check the radar. It's probably the same exact thing. So actually, never mind. Okay, so if it's getting pretty laggy because of I only have 11% left. Okay. So yeah, it's getting pretty laggy, and we want to know about your thoughts on Hurricane Harvey, and we want to show you how bad it might be, what's gonna happen, and what's gonna happen. So actually, a little bit of wind over here, but oh shoot, it's a little windy, as you can see. It's a little shaky, my camera. Sorry about that. But yeah, that's kind of what Hurricane Harvey is doing to us right now. And so yeah, we want to hear your shoot, it's super windy. We would just hear your thoughts. And yeah, post in the comments Hurricane Harvey, and yeah, we just want to know all the latest information. And yeah, so please just talk to us on the evening show. We'll be right with you. Actually, we'll be still right with you. Oh, hello, 1 viewer. You're on the evening show. How do you think about the evening? Oh, He just left. Okay. So it seems like a couple of viewers are just going on, and then they're just kind of leaving. So that's fine. So we just gonna talk about how bad Hurricane Harvey's gonna be. I could already feel that it's getting a little colder. Yeah, we'll actually tell you the current condition of where we are right now. Actually, live webcam of Big Bear. We could show you a live cam of a Big Bear and how bad it's gonna be. Mountain resort. That's better. So just the base cam, just any summit. So the summit base looks like there's a ton of clouds, and you could actually see that. Okay. So this is this is actually, here we go. Okay, so as you could see, Big Bear has some rain bands. Actually, over here, as you could see, and this is actually right where those clouds are over there, over where I showed you. Something's resetting. Trying to go on again. Perfect. So it looks like, yeah, so it looks like right now it's just pretty it's pretty cloudy. We just want to know what it's kind of like. Oh, hello, one viewer, just the pass by person or whatever. So we're on the evening show, and we just want to know about your thoughts, what's happening, and just tell us what your thoughts are in the comments, and actually we'll get to it like right now. We'll get to it right now, yeah. Here you go, we're already on it. Your thoughts. Okay. What's happening? So so we just want to know what your thoughts are, and he just left it, but whatever. Of course, this is one watching that, whatever. So we will just keep going on there, and yeah, so yeah, in general, we just want to hear about your thoughts, and yeah. This is the evening show. We're gonna go back inside to see how Category 4 Hurricane is, and yeah, this is the evening show, and we'll be covering with you for at least an hour. But yeah, we will be live coverage until as long as we can, until our battery dies. 6% right now. Like just because of okay, I think I know why. Just 1 second. Nothing much. Actually, the clouds have moved kind of over there, which would mean that would be not sure if that's probably north. That's pretty expected because I saw that on radar, and yeah. So okay, so yeah, yeah, we just want to hear your thoughts. Of course, we're still in the heat wave. It's just not as bad anymore. So if we check our live temperature, we'll just tell you in a minute. It was expected today to be about 95. No, 97, and it's actually 86 right now, and the high was 86 today. So it's much different. Oh, actually, it says 91. It kind of changed. But it was expected to actually be in the like in the 90s today, but it's only 91. So let's just check the weather just in case. Mulholland Heights, because that's like. Mulholland Heights. So it's loading. Yep, Mulholland Heights is much, much cooler where we are right now. And today is actually going to be only 81. So it's only 81 right now, although it feels much hotter. It feels like 85. And we might see our chance of rain coming up tomorrow today. Usually at nighttime, our chances of rain are between 5 and 20%. So it's we could actually see the webcam for Mulholland Heights. I'll tell you kind of personal weather station. Perfect. It's getting much more laggier right now, but yeah, we're still on the show. It's much laggy.